one client signs the contract and the entire experience activates. Notion, Slack, CRM, email, all intentional, all aligned. Hey, I'm Harrison. I help teams and agencies figure out where automation and AI fits into their business. Not just what tools to use, but where the actual leverage lies. And today I want to take you through an onboarding system that just didn't start with software. It started with a question. What does onboarding feel like when done right? See, onboarding used to be copy their name into a CRM, send the welcome email, duplicate the Notion dashboard, notify the team. But the real issue wasn't time, it was mental overhead. Did I forget something? Did I send the wrong link? Did I loop in the right person? That's not a tooling problem. That's a systems problem. And that's where this video begins. So I was talking to a mentor and he said something simple. If you keep doing it more than once, systemize it. And for the first time, I stopped asking how to automate. I instead asked, what would the perfect onboarding look like for a client start to finish? What does the client see and feel? What information do we always forget? Where do things fall through the cracks? That became my roadmap. Not a make.com scenario or a Zapier scenario, not a Notion template, just pure logic and mapping the ideal experience. And then we use tools to bring it to life. This isn't just for tech agencies here. It's for operators onboarding 3 to 4 clients a month, founders who want to make a great first impression, project managers tired of fixing errors. And here's why it matters. AI is literally everywhere, but most teams don't need more tools. They need more clarity. And onboarding, that's the handshake. That's the trust builder. If you're getting this part wrong, it ripples through everything. This system prevents that. Here's the system I built after the strategy was very clear. A signed proposal triggers the automation. The client gets a personalized welcome email. A Notion dashboard is duplicated and linked in their name. Tasks are assigned to the project manager in the system. Team gets notified in Slack. CRM is updated with key info. No more where are we at in the process. All done. No more forgetting key links. No more wondering if the onboarding email got sent. The system does the remembering. Let's break down the build. But remember, every module and everything that exists in this automation is because of a real world need. We just didn't start here. We ended here. So you can see the mapping right here. If we pop over into the automation in make.com, you can see there's a bunch of modules here. Think of the modules as actions. So every single one of these circles has a designated action. Another way you can think about it is a recipe. These are the ingredients, and all these ingredients make a lovely cake. And so this is the start, and this is the end. The first action is a signed proposal. Now I built out this CRM. Simple CRM, it's just a Notion onboarding suite with a bunch of automation flags. So let's run it from the beginning to the end. So a proposal signed. So once the proposal is signed, it sends an email, creates onboarding tasks, updates the CRM to let you know that you've sent out the onboarding tasks in the email, and updates your team in Slack. So let's pop over here and check out the onboarding email. Perfect. Have everything we need. You have the welcome kit, which is a document with all the information that the client needs. The second thing is the onboarding form. Awesome. They can fill that out. The next action is the onboarding project is creating a Notion with a bunch of tasks for the project manager. So if you pop back into Notion, we can see that the proposal was signed, which we checked off. This is automatically checked off, so we know we've sent the onboarding package. And a bunch of tasks are assigned to your project manager here. And this is their client dashboard, so you can actually send this to them. And they have all the onboarding tasks as well. As a sweet little option, I included this in the Notion CRM. So say, for example, if you wanted to update the client, you want to say Google Analytics. You can tag the client, set the date, go back, and in the client dashboard, they will see the Google Analytics for the month to check out. Finally, the team is notified in Slack. Awesome. All that information there. Let's give some strategic context to each. So for the first trigger, so the signed proposal. Why is this? Because it's the clearest universal sign of commitment. Then we have the email is sent. This sets the tone. It's not just info, it's about experience. In these Notion modules, it duplicates and personalizes the client dashboard. Why? The central source of truth, professional and personalized. Personalized equals professional. So you always have to remember when you are dealing with clients, you should have a single source of truth. So if you have multiple softwares and you have information in your CRM about the client, but then you have information in your Google Docs about the client, you need one single source of truth. So I highly suggest that you have a CRM or somewhere where one database has literally everything. Create some tasks. This is where the handoff becomes hand-on. The CRM updates over here, and it's now onboarding is started. For Slack, this is internal accountability, not just comms. The reason why I didn't make anything actionable in Slack is that it is great for communication, but it shouldn't be a source of truth, meaning any tasks, anything of importance should not live in Slack. There should be a centralized place. That's why it goes to the CRM. It just notifies the team. That's it. If that information is not seen, that's completely okay. Just trying to hype up the team and get them all on the same page. You can start this automation with a signed contract, a paid invoice, a checkbox in Notion, as we did in the demo. This is not just an automation, it's an adaptive infrastructure. The system didn't just save me 30 minutes. It saved me mental energy, communication mistakes, onboarding regret, and most importantly, it gave every new client the clear, professional, thoughtful experience I wanted them to have. That builds trust, that builds referrals, that builds leverage. And I dropped everything that you need for this in the description below. Notion templates, email HTML, make.com JSON, strategy, outline, SOP. If you have another type of business, how to adapt it. Use what works, modify the rest, do whatever you need. But what if the client never fills out the form? What if the client doesn't respond to the email? Or they ghost the portal? So I've built a follow-up system for that gently nudges them to remind them to complete the onboarding form or to write in what they need. Same logic, same tools, fully mapped. If you want that walkthrough, please drop a comment below. I'll work my best and diligently to get that uploaded. This is part of the Build with Harrison Automation Challenge, but this isn't a tech show. It's a strategy lab. Every so often, I'll walk you through a new layer. AI systems, automation insights, and frameworks for making ops frictionless. Subscribe and comment what you want to see on the next one. Thanks.